Well, good afternoon. Video's out a little later than what I thought. I was expecting to get the video at about 10 a.m. Central, but it seems as though I was occupied with something else. I couldn't make a video then, but we're here. We have a video. Significant severe weather is likely today across portions of the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys today. We do have a moderate risk of severe storms, a level 4 out of 5. For portions of northeastern Louisiana, eastern Arkansas, southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, western Kentucky, western Tennessee, and I think I mentioned northwest Mississippi. I don't know, maybe I did. You do also have a marginal risk in the northeast. It's going to remain primarily for tornadoes, wind, and hail, but marginal threat with that. Tornado risk today, a 15% significant risk encompassing much of the moderate risk area. That was a little hard word to say, isn't it? You also have a hatched area, a 10% hatched area for much of the enhanced risk today. But wind could also be a major factor today. We do have a 45% significant risk of wind for northeast Arkansas, southeast Missouri, northwest Mississippi, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, and southern Illinois. Hail risk today, encompassing much of that moderate risk, or the southwestern parts of that. We also could have some large hail above 2 inches as well. Currently, what's going on right now, we do have scattered severe storms in central Arkansas, also back in northeastern Texas as well. It's not on this map, but we do have those ongoing. Just some scattered severe storms, lightly tornadic. We do have a little bit of rotation with those, but nothing that's, extreme right now. That is ongoing. RTMA analysis, real-time mesoscale analysis. This is not a model. This is what's being observed by mesoanalysis. Our better dew point, our better moisture values are down south in Texas and Louisiana and southern Mississippi, but that will gradually lift north today, where we have actually quite a bit of clearing in Mississippi, North Alabama, West Tennessee, and western Kentucky. Now, the thing is, the storms are just behind that. The storms are just behind that clearing. So could we see some more semi-discrete to discrete supercells that form soon in that clearing area? That's a possibility. Is that uncertain? Yes, we do have uncertainties today with that. But I do think that just ahead of the line, we could see that. Going into mesoanalysis, this is 6 hours in advance. This is for 23Z, so that would be 6 o'clock Central Time. You notice we have 2 lines of storms. We have 2 more broken lines of storms. Our lead line could be our highest threat of tornadoes, wind, and hail. Our second line could be mostly wind and hail, with maybe a couple to few isolated tornadoes. But I think our first line, which is going to be more broken, although both lines are going to be more broken, but the first line, which could be our strongest line, could have the highest threat of stronger, longer track tornadoes in that. Now, I do want to point out that the storm monophylicity values could remain mostly confined to the storms themselves. We are going to have a little bit of that ahead of the line, obviously. That's typically what happens. But as far as strong storm monophylicity values, way ahead of that, who knows? So it's going to remain mostly confined today. But from what we can tell today, the numerous discrete supercell threat today is not as high as what we initially thought from yesterday. Is it still a threat today? Yes. I think we're going to see at least a couple of fully discrete cells. But most of them are going to either remain embedded within a line or they're going to remain in a broken cluster. So that's going to be our primary threat today. But still, the main message we want to say, even though it doesn't seem as extreme as it once was, we do want to point out that the threat of strong tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail are still big threats today. It's still a moderate risk. We just have a little lower confidence today. That's all. So please, if you're in any of the risks today, slight, enhanced, moderate, you need to be weather aware. And if you go under a warning, you need to take the proper precautions today. That is the risk today. It's better to be safe than sorry with this. So we'll go through to her past the mesoanalysis period. I was at 22Z. The mesoanalysis ends at 23Z, but close enough. Again, her is depicting those 2 lines of supercell, Those 2 lines of broken storms with embedded supercells in that. That's what I meant to say. We can also have a band of snow, by the way, in northern Missouri and eastern Iowa. We'll see that. Pretty interesting. The air should be pretty cold once you get right behind the front with still some precipitation, so that's probably why we're seeing that snow. That line does stretch up into southeastern Illinois, eventually crossing to southwest Indiana. Then the line should weaken by about 03 to 04 Z. So after about 11 o'clock to midnight, we'll start to see some weakening with that. But the southern end of the line is probably remain relatively intact, and we should still see those high helicity values confined to those cells, confined to those embedded supercells within that. I think a 20 FRET's going to remain relatively sound with those embedded supercells, or those broken supercells, rather. And then our line continues. This could continue on with southeast Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and eventually into the Florida Panhandle. So that's just the main FRET today. Stay weather aware, stay safe, know your plan of action. Stream chances today are going to remain relatively conditional based on what happens today. So we'll see that. Definitely get subscribed if you haven't already. But that's all for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Stay safe, stay weather aware, and know your plan of action.